In this range of motion test, we're going to be covering lateral flexion of the T-spine. In terms of optimal range of motion, we're going to be looking at 30 degrees both left and right. In terms of restrictions, especially muscle restrictions, we're going to be looking at internal, external obliques, the quadratus lumborum or the QL, the erector spinae, and also the semispinalis. From a joint perspective, the facet joints and the intraverse ligaments restricting some of that motion side to side. Now, if you notice here, I've taped up Sarah. I've taped her from the lower T-spine right up to the bottom of the C-spine. Now, to find the lower portion of the T-spine, take the bottom rib. You're going to follow that bottom rib right here, which will be the bottom of the T-spine. The bottom of that C-spine is right where that bony structure is. Now, this is one test that I don't really recommend using the tape, and here's why. What we're going to be doing is measuring that 30 degrees from the bottom of the T-spine right to the top of the T-spine or the bottom of the C-spine. Now, if you notice when Sarah leans to her right, this line doesn't really change too much, but we're actually looking at this angle right here. Lean to your left. So usually when I record this, I don't get a good angle from here. So I'm actually going to take this off, and we're going to demonstrate this. So this one here, you kind of require a bit of an eye to do this. So we're going to go right, follow that rib cage down, right at the bottom of the T-spine here. We're going to make our initial line, so sit up nice and tall for me. So our pivot point is at the bottom of the T-spine. This line is going to stay right through the middle of that spine. I'm going to get her to lean to her right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line from that top of the T-spine, bottom of the C-spine here, right down into the middle of my goniometer, which is right there. She's at 20 degrees. We're going to switch sides. I'm going to switch my goniometer to the other side. Okay, I'm lining up with the middle of her spine. Go ahead to the left. We're going to line this up, C-spine down. I got to move this over just a little bit more. And we're actually at 15 degrees to the left, 20 degrees to the right. So again, when we're looking at some restrictions, not only with the C-spine, we noticed a lot of restrictions in our previous video, but now a lot of restriction also getting into lateral flexion. Usually the first things that I start looking at with the lateral flexion is going to be your obliques, but especially that QL, that muscle that's going to attach from that pelvis up into the bottom ribs. If that muscle is very tight, we can't actually get into this position. I would start there. If you don't get any immediate results, then I would start looking at some of the outsourcing, releasing some of that, not only the soft tissue, but adjusting some of those facet joints and getting some range of motion there as well.